Hey everyone, Bob Thibodeau here with the Ask Bob podcast, where I answer your questions about podcasting. Now, I get asked all the time, why should I start a podcast? Well, that's a great question. There are too many reasons that I can think of just off the top of my head to answer that question just in one session here. So I'm going to break it down in a few topics and we'll discuss them, not so much in great detail, but enough detail that you can see why I'm listing them here. I think that would be better than just giving you a list with no explanation at all, don't you? Now, I can tell you that podcasting is actually the next media wave that is not only here now, but growing exponentially. It's going to be the place to be into the foreseeable future. Will it be a permanent fixture? Probably not. I mean, technology changes and you need to change with it. But if you had a business, say back in the 1940s, and your primary method of marketing back then was to produce and mail out catalogs. Think about the Sears and Roebuck catalog or Fingerhut catalog and things like that. In the 1960s, radio became and still is a popular medium for promoting your business. In the 1980s, that shift started to change to television. Now, in the 21st century, everything's moving online. We started Evangelism Radio. When we started that radio station, we were breaking ground in online Christian radio. We had the ability to allow any pastor anywhere in the world to go live over the internet with just a couple of clicks on the mouse. And nobody else was doing that. And our radio ministry quickly grew to be number one in the world as rated by Showcast.com in the Christian talk genre. But times have changed again. Now podcasting is experiencing exponential growth. And we can see USB ports and Bluetooth and connectivity to the internet being offered in cars and all over. I mean, I seen a post recently that Delta Airlines is offering podcast connectivity on some of its flights and soon will be expanding to all of its flights. All of this should tell you, yes, you should have a podcast. Now, in the next few episodes, I'm going to go over some additional points that will make this clear to you. And I'll explain to you how you can use podcasting to establish and grow your brand and your business. Now, if you have a podcasting question, send it along to me. You can leave your question in the comment section below, but a better way of communicating with me and making sure I'm able to see your questions quickly is by using the contact form on the website. Go to podcast-training.com/contact and click on the contact tab. Fill out the form. Be sure to send me your questions. If your question is used on this podcast, I'll be giving you credit for bringing it to my attention, and you will receive a free download of my book, The Complete Guide to Podcasting. That's a $37 value, but I'll give it to you absolutely free if you send along your questions and they're used on the Ask Bob program. If you include your website or podcast information, I will also be referencing that as well and putting your information in the show notes of the podcast. Who knows? You may see some increased traffic to your website, your podcast, and all that just from asking me a question. If I get asked the same question, the first person to ask it will be getting all the credit. So if you have a question, don't wait. Ask today. Just go to podcast-training.com, click on the contact form, and send along your question. Now, next time we'll be talking about how podcasts are better than blog posts. Be sure to subscribe to this podcast so you can be notified every time we release a new episode and answer someone else's question. So until we talk again, keep listening. Remember, you